scientific, dude. You're getting too close to
Seriously.
your partner. Yeah, if you're supposedly you're presenting this book as a serious inquiry on a case, but this woman is seeming more and more to Bud's wife like they're partners in this, that they've got to get their story straight together, that she is like 50-50 in this, which is, according to her, odd for any kind of research. What do you think?
Uh,
Definitely.
yeah, it makes it pretty fishy. Kind of puts a huge wrench in things, I think. Like what's that term where you have like a conflict of interest, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
big time.
almost as if they both have something to gain out of this, and they're
Weird.
gonna, and he's purposefully ignoring things. But Bud Bud does remember cousin Connie. Yeah, she tried to help her. She was with her when these men tried to join in that nice 18 van that almost grabbed her.
Oh
Bud,
yeah, that van almost grabbed her.
it was a
really
nice van too.
though.
They weren't thugs. They were dressed nicely. One guy had
Oh,
chains. It was awesome. One guy was real handsome.
oh God, those chains.
One guy was a little screw loose. Maybe he was like Dan, but
Hillary's on a van.
there
Yes,
we
thank
go.
you.
There's Rob. Good job coming in with it. But Bud does eventually hear from the mysterious cousin Connie. Check this out.
That night, the phone rang. Bud answered, not saying much, but a peculiar look came over his face. When he hung up, I asked who it was. He said, "That was Linda, pretending to be your cousin Connie." I wondered why Bud wasn't more upset. He just told me that the subject of his most important case had pretended to be cousin Connie, witness number 20 to the Brooklyn Bridge UFO abductions. But he never mentioned it again and continued his staunch support of the case.
He will not divert from this track. He knows it's shit. He knows it.
Yeah.
And Connie is one of I didn't even realize that. Connie was one of the witnesses. How was her cousin on the street at 3 a.m. watching her float out of a window?
Hey man, you don't need to, and don't pry into her business. You don't need to know
Actually,
what she's up to.
I'll take it back. Maybe he means there's so many abductions in this woman's life. There's alien abductions. There's getting dumped in the river in Long Island.
She's just getting
Abductions.
dumped. Period. Yeah.
There's van abduction. So he probably means the van abduction. You got to get abduction straight with this woman because she is getting abducted left and right. I don't understand.
What is this? What does all this mean
I
about
think
his
she likes it. Jesus.
his previous cases? What is that like? This kind of takes away some of the validity of the previous stuff that he's done. This doesn't make him look good. Like, what do we have to say about this now?
They had no faces.
Like, what are we supposed to say about that now?
There's probably a crayon drawing of them with faces that he fucking crumbled up, threw away. He's like, nope, they didn't have faces. That's what's in the book. That's what's going to be. Yeah, what is it? It says about any of this? It definitely takes a lot away from Intruders, from the stories that he's put forth. This is the father of the abduction movement, and this is what he's up to in his, it's like his magnum opus. This is his big case. He's supposed to be bigger than Intruders. It's supposed to be more compelling. New York City, witnesses.
They're not people!
The witnesses,
Shit.
they're not people.
5-star acting.
Shit, they actually were people. All right, fuck it. Nope, they weren't people. We're going with that. Just don't tell anybody. Thank God his other wives didn't fucking care enough to fucking throw him under the van or whatever. But this part's fun. According to Carol, I don't know if I can get these all out. Here are the claims of Linda Cortale Napolitano, Judge Napolitano. These are her claims, and some of these she had never even made it to the book. And these are the claims of his partner, Linda. She was abducted by aliens on a UFO. She was abducted by federal agents. She was abducted by aliens with her girlfriend from Bud's support group. She was abducted by aliens with mafia head John Gotti. She was abducted by aliens with a top UN official. Officials from the CIA and Air Force witnessed her abductions. Both security officers were obsessed with her.
Oh.
She might be or might not be part alien. She has immortal red blood cells. She's a descendant of Joan of Arc. She was once a professional singer in a popular girl band. She harbored an alien implant for 15 years. She met with Cardinal O'Connell and was summoned to a private meeting with the Pope. She was inside the World Trade Center when the plane hit on 9/11.
Wow.
And finally, she had an agreement with Hopkins to split the profits from the book witnessed based on her story. Now, most of these, we can talk about these, most of these did not make the book, but these are all firsthand accounts from Carol Rainey saying that these facts do exist, but they're not in there. How crazy. How crazy.
That's insane.
She's very busy. She's got a lot on her plate.
So what was your favorite one out of that? I like that she was abducted by aliens with mafia head John Gotti.
I liked when she was abducted with the UN officials.
Yeah, those guys came too. Going. They didn't just see it. She claimed that he came up there too.
Yeah, oh, come on. If you were a UN official, would you not?
Now, Jude, who was that also wasn't who also thought they were a descendant of Joan of Arc? Didn't that lady
Ariel?
Yeah.
Ariel.
From, yeah.
Daenerys.
Was anyone not Joan of Arc? I don't know. What about she has
Joan of Arc. There's a Joan of Arc statue.
I was never Joan of Arc. Okay.
She has immortal red blood cells. She might not be an alien. So much. So many claims. Those are her claims that didn't make the books because maybe even Bud realized this. She was inside the World Trade Center when the planes hit on 9/11.
Oh, no.
That was my favorite part. It was just like,
Jesus.
What?
I didn't realize. I didn't hear that part. I guess there was so much other things I was focused on.
Yeah, she needs to finish that part of the story. Like,
what happened after that? Was
how
she
did
in water?
You got away? Like, what happened?
Yeah, did she hear explosions in the buildings or anything like that?
According to Carol, she claims that that Linda walked out of the World Trade Center with like bloodied up feet and no shoes on right when the planes hit from walking past.
Neat.
Never proven.
So before the planes hit.
Why was she bloody when they just hit?
Yeah, before they hit. She walked out while they hit? What?
She has a hard time getting her story straight.
All right, yeah, clearly.
Hit, nothing happened.
I'm going to need some crayon drawings.
Still going up in there.
Yeah.
Like people were running in being like, oh.
This
bitch. Yeah, right? But it's that last one, though, about splitting the profits. I think all of it boils down to that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit about that last one.
The last one was a much talked about issue. Was Linda making money off her story? Skeptics said that if she was, money could be a strong motivation for Linda to come up with a story that fit Bud's expectations, and one with enough high drama and intrigue that Hollywood would come calling too. But outside interviewers had found it impossible to get the matter clearly resolved. Privately, Linda had told a critic that she had an agreement to split the book's profits with Bud. But at a meeting in Hopkins' home, Bud denied that she was splitting the revenue with him. Linda then claimed that she deliberately planted disinformation. So what was the story? As far as anybody could tell, Linda had no profit motive. In 1997, one of the most popular listservs on the internet ran these comments by Linda Cortilla about the money issue.
And she puts those comments into text on the video, goddammit. But the quote from Linda regarding the money is, "My financial stake in Bud's book, Witnessed, enabled me to fill a cavity at the dentist office. And
what?
It was good of Bud. It was good of Bud to offer me, which I did not want to accept, a fraction of what he was given. He felt better when I accepted the token he offered." So she is claiming the only financial stake she has in the publication of the book of her story is that Bud gave her enough money to fill a cavity at the dentist office.
Whoa.
She pulled the sympathy card.
A lot of things.
She pulled the sympathy card on us, and she was like, "But I needed my tooth fixed, and that's all it was. It was just..."
Yeah. He filled my cavity. That's it.
Dude.
I think we know what that means.
I think I kind of I'm leaning towards that too.
He filled her cavity,
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I don't know why Bud would be a fool, because Carol Rainey is much more attractive than Linda and not insane. Carol Rainey, I have a lot of respect for. As you can see, she's doing some great work here. you know, we don't want to look like idiots for loving this stuff. You know, we like a lot of stuff that's very fringe. But if something like this is in your face, it's foolish to think, you know, that it's real anymore. Like, if you bring this kind of proof forward, I'm not going to blindly go, oh, no, I still just like the story. If it's this bad, you can't.
Did you not do that with Star Wars, Russ?
I don't know about Star Wars in this. It is a trilogy. We'll get into it. But yeah, she didn't want it. She didn't. We are the trilogy of this. They did to Bud Hopkins. This is our revenge of Revenge
this
of
is our Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm
right
so
now,
sorry for bringing that up.
Right now, Carol definitely has the high ground on Bud. She is also about to throw him down a giant trench, and I don't know, maybe balance the force or something. I don't know what she's going to do, but. Let's hear what's really going on with this token fraction of the profits that's filling her cavity. Let's hear it.
Noble feelings on Linda's part. The only problem was, I knew they weren't true. In fact, Linda had been extremely interested in getting her share of profits from the book. A top-notch entertainment lawyer had been hired to draft this letter of agreement. It was faxed to Bud's agent on August 11th, 1995, and signed by both Bud and Linda. And so it was 2 years later that she was still publicly claiming that her profit from the book was a mere token. It filled one cavity. That would have to be a hell of a big cavity, because the truth is that Linda stood to profit substantially if Witnessed became a bestseller or got made into a movie, the way Bud's book Intruders had.
Well.
That was a great burn.
She had.
One hell of a cavity.
I didn't even ask her that. That was great.
She was right there with it because I think Carol is one of us. She does not. She might have been. She shows interest in the abduction, field, but she's seeing all this firsthand and saying, "Whoa! This woman is out to make money. She's lying." She's making all these letters herself, but Bud does not see it. Bud is just plowing forward. Get the book out. Then we'll get the movie deal. Then we'll get – it's just like Intruders, but it's even better. And it's going to Hollywood. And
it takes place in New York City. Imagine that on film. Oh, man.
Yeah,
sex in New York. Imagine her getting drowned on Long Island. That's going to be great.
God.
And then she's going to be shoved in a van, and the A-team can make an appearance. And it's going to be great, and everything's going to work out. And it's the coolest abduction ever. We got the UN. We got Richard and Dan.
We got her cousin. Men in Black, like the Men in Black scene when they abduct her and they do their tests on her and stuff.
There is even things where she talks about being in a restaurant and a guy dressed in a suit with a hat reaches in his coat as if he's going to pull out a gun, but he doesn't. He just does it to scare her because she's constantly being intimidated.
Why would they do that?
There's no reason for any of this. None of this. Now, I urge everyone, go check out the videos of Carol Rainey on this. You know, we played a lot of the good stuff. There's a lot more.
Right now? Should I go do that right now?
I'm not even talking.
I'm busy right now.
Oh.
But I got to get, before we go, there's going to be a little bit more, but I want your final thoughts. You know, this is a respected guy in the abduction world. He's the father. He's the father of the abduction movement. Jude, what do you think about Bud Hopkins after hearing all this?
He can do no wrong in my book. I'm still Team Bud.
All right. What about you, Drea? How do you feel after hearing the claims of Bud's wife, Carol?
Well, I mean, it's funny that you bring this up on Father's Day and you call him, he's the father of all this.
Papa!
But, yeah, of course you're going to have to take his side, but I mean, not all dads are good. There's some pretty bad dads out there. I'm going to say Team Bad Dad.
Our papa. Stanton Friedman wouldn't do this.
I love Stanton Friedman. He does look like a really great papa, too.
He does.
Stanton Friedman would have put up with her bullshit. Dad.
Yeah.
Go on, right? I'm sorry, but go on.
All right, possible.
No, yeah, I'm Team Bad Dad. He's maybe not the best father out there for this movement. Bad Dad.
Definitely not. What about you, Rob? What do you think after hearing all this?
I think I'm going to let Philip Klass sum this up for me.
You are a goddamned liar.
Oh.
You are
That's the first time I think I've ever heard that you covered up the truth in the beginning. It's just reaching out to me right now.
Wow.
But, yeah. But before we go, let's hear Bud Hopkins one last time. And it's almost as if he is given this one last out to somehow inject any kind of integrity into what he feels is the most compelling case of his career.
Tell me this, are you bored with the witness case?